Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post a quick video here. This is going to be just a quick Ask Mr. Hall of Fame video. I've still been jotting down all your guys' questions and just haven't gotten around to making a video the last few weeks. So just wanted to snag about 5 or 6 questions here and kind of do the next one. Playing in the background in case you can hear it. I guess I haven't been playing music in the background in many of my videos lately, but the Jeff Beck group, Beckola, Rod Stewart on vocals at the helm there, so that's what's playing in case you hear something and want to know. But yeah, let's just kind of jump right into it. First question, let's see, we'll go with Acid House. It said, you have such a love for music. Has any piece ever made you feel so emotional you cried? Yeah. And not something that happens all the time, but it's not an odd thing either. Usually not due to being sad about something or not due to reminiscing about something, but usually more so from if I find a piece that hits my intensity buttons, which are usually connected to my competitive buttons. Okay. Now, doesn't have to be a competitive song, but it can just be something in that song, something in that feel taps my competitive button. And it could be a song that has nothing to do with any competition, sports, not an athletic type of song or whatever. But when it taps that button, that emotion can get really intense, and sometimes it lets itself out in terms of, a tear coming down. And just kind of, I guess maybe to even explain that a little bit is, you know, I've always been a very competitive person in the sense that, I played basketball throughout high school years, and I went to a pretty big school, and it was a very competitive league in the whole nine, and so it's something that we took very seriously. And and I was an all conference player in high school. Then I went to college, and kind of the same thing. It was a very competitive school. We were top 25 ranked all the time. One year we got as high as being ranked 5th in the country, and I was a 3-time all conference player there, an all American there, and I took it seriously. And the one thing about my playing, if you will, was that the adrenaline of competition was just something that drove me so much more, I think, than maybe the average. Well, I can't even say that, but it was an extremely, extremely dominant and powerful force for me. Even like maybe kind of get a little sidetracked here, but what the heck is my video? Like one of the things I don't like today about a lot of athletics when it comes to like the big game and really going up against your rivals and that type of thing is people act like I have to act disrespectful, or I have to mean mug you. I have to, if you fall down, I can't reach down and help you up. I can only help my teammates up off the floor, even if I'm standing right beside you, that type of thing. I don't get that. It's like if you have to do that to get to your best level, in my opinion, there's something wrong with you. You know, you should have the desire to win and push yourself to the absolute best without having to put negativity to someone else to get there. There's just something wrong with that in my mind. So anyway, so back when I was in school, that was kind of the way that I was. It was like, yes, I was the nice guy. I was, I'm helping the other teammates off the floor. I'm hanging out with them after the games and talking to them, and just being like, I loved being friends with some of our arch rivals school wise. But what they also knew was when we stepped on the court, it was kind of beast mode type of thing. And I was a guy who would love to knock you on your ass and come over and help you up and make sure you're okay. And, oh, didn't mean to quite go, sorry, you okay? Good. Oh, yeah, no problem, man. And I'm going to come back and knock you on your ass again. It's just because the intensity, I loved it. I thrived off of it. So anyway, I'm just kind of saying that, through high school, that was a key piece. Through college, it was a huge, significant piece of what drove me. And of course, when I graduated, it's not there anymore. It's like, I can't just cut this out. So that's when I got into competitive bodybuilding and did that for a long time. So having that intense thing inside of me which is usually based around competition, which is just something I've always thrived off of. And so I kind of go through all that to say, what I can find now with music is I can be listening to a piece of music, and again, it's not a sports type of song or whatever, but something about what I'm hearing can start tapping that competitive intensity feeling, and it can be very whatever. So that happens somewhat frequently listening to music. And so I picked out a couple of things that oddly enough kind of do that. Uh, One are probably the most significant. And again, what does Fleetwood Mac have to do with competition? That type of thing. But when I listen to the song Seven Wonders off of here, mainly to the part where they go through the chorus, if I live to see the seven wonders, that whole nine. And once they finish the chorus, there's that part where, like, I think it's McVie is kind of playing this little piano part, and it almost sounds like Lindsey is answering her with his guitar. And Stevie comes in with those little hellos on top of there. Oh my gosh. It's just like it taps the heck out of that button, and it can get so intense with just chills throughout my body, tear coming down and it's just striking that chord. I can't even explain why, but well, I can't explain why. It's Fleetwood Mac, and they're freaking geniuses. But so that's kind of one example. Another one, I actually pulled the wrong album. It's not Live Rust. It's Rust Never Sleeps. My, Hey, Hey. The last 15 seconds of that song, when Neil goes into his harmonica solo over the guitar that he's playing, same thing. It can bring chills and such an intensity that I can have a tear fall down. What else kind of fits into that? Oh, here's another one. And of course, Rocky is kind of associated with the whole competitive thing and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, you have Gonna Fly Now and, all that kind of stuff. Um, but but yeah, I mean, there's two songs throughout the entire Rocky saga that have moments that can bring me to that point. And one, of course, is off of Rocky 2, and it's the track, the overture on the second track, which for those maybe don't know it by name, in Rocky 2, after he beats Apollo Creed and he's, accepting, giving his little speech and all that, the whole Yo Adrian, I did it, it's the piece that's playing over top of that thing right there. And so, yeah, I can listen to that song sometimes, and it can, bring that intensity. So, and watching Rocky 2, I mean, oh my, if that's on the TV and I'm watching Rocky say, outside of my kid being born, this is the greatest day in the history of my life, and, Yo Adrian, I did it, guaranteed. It's a guarantee. And the other one in the whole Rocky saga would be, the song In the Burning Heart, which I think was on Rocky 4, I believe. And not really the song. I mean, the song itself is just a regular old, trying to traditional 80s rock type of thing, so it's okay. But in the second verse, where it goes into, in the warrior's code, there's no surrender, though his body says stop, the spirit cries never. It just so, look, I mean, like chills just even saying those words right now. That just so taps back into, that was the mindset, that was the mindset, which was just, body says stop, but you just take your body to limits that you wouldn't even imagine could happen. So yeah, that's a long piece to describe kind of how music and different ways it can bring me to that point. So let's kind of move on. Let's see. JJ asked, do you buy MP3 or iTunes or Amazon? Oh, I'm sorry. Do you ever buy MP3s on iTunes or Amazon and just have that and no hard version or hard copies? No, not really. I've never bought anything off of Amazon. I haven't bought and downloaded anything off of iTunes. It has to be 5, 6+ years now. So typically, if I'm downloading something in the iTunes, well, I should say a while ago, what I would sometimes do is I may buy a CD off of eBay, download it, and then sell the CD back on eBay to get my money back. I just thought that made more sense than paying $9.99 for a download off of iTunes. But really, for the most part now, even if I go to the library, which I do a lot now, and check out 20 CDs, and I may put some stuff on my iTunes, I still burn a hard copy of that CD. And I probably have like 700 CDs I've burnt from just ones I borrowed from the library. So even stuff I download, I still like to have the hard copy. That's just, I like owning the music. And I hate having to, you haven't authorized this computer, or if you try to burn, it's like, I just, no, I want to own it, it's mine, whatever. So yeah, so I can't have, don't have a lot of great stuff to talk about there, JJ, sorry. So let's move right along. Next question, we will go to Bernard. Or, I'm sorry, yeah, Bernard Jean. Through all my years of making music-related videos, what did I learn most about myself? That was an interesting question, because when I sat there and thought about it, like, myself, how I see myself and all of that, what's the biggest difference that I see? I'm not talking about going from like all of a sudden, oh, now I collect Japanese presents. So not that, but like about me. And you may think this is a weird answer, but I think the thing that I've learned the most about myself since day one of the VC till now is that I have a diverse taste in music. Again, that may sound like, okay, well, that was kind of obvious from the first video, different stuff and blah, blah, blah. But I never really internalized that I had this, a vast array of, in terms of, it was just like, isn't this the music that everyone loves? Isn't this just like a common collection? Isn't this what most people listen to or do? And I'm not talking about value. I'm just talking about like the music itself. Like, isn't this what most people have? And I guess just over time, I've learned, no, that's not the case. It really isn't. And I think a lot of that also came from not only people just, saying it here and there, but just I don't know, hundreds of times that I've shown something in a video and someone says, I've never heard of that, or I never heard of them. And I'm sitting there thinking, I thought this was like the most common thing in the world. Not from a standpoint of I'm saying anything about them, but just more so like, why did I think everyone already knew about? Like, why was that my assumption? Like, I was wrong, not they're wrong for not knowing it, but, oh God, my mistake. I thought everyone. So that's definitely the most interesting thing that I've learned about myself is, yeah, you have a diverse taste in music. So, yeah, kind of interesting. It was interesting to think about, I should say. Moving right along, Chris Jurek. Since I grew up in the 80s, what is my favorite Kiss album from the Eric Carr era? That's fun to say, Eric Carr era. I mean, obviously all kind of great albums, but I'm going to have to go with Crazy Nights is going to be my favorite Carr album. And that's saying a lot, because you have, I mean, I don't have to list all the ones. I mean, all the great time he was there with Kiss. But yeah, because this is arguably one of my top 3 favorite Kiss albums, period. So, of course, it's going to be one of my favorite Carrs. But yeah, it's just a great album. I know some people don't just hate the 80s Kiss, but I freaking love it. And, Crazy Nights, I'll fight Hell to Hold You, Reason to Live, and maybe one of my top 5 favorite Kiss songs, Turn on the Night. I mean, yeah, I love this album. So if I had to pick one I can listen to with Carr on it for the rest of my life, that's the one I'm picking. All right, next up, DJ Withers. Can I show my 8-track collection? I wanted to address that, just, I did get your question. Don't really have one to show. I mean, I had a small collection of about 100 or so that had been in storage forever because I haven't had an 8-track player in 4 or 5 years. And even just like, not too long ago, I sent some stuff out as VCLT. I sold some, and I just really don't have a collection to show. So, apologize that I couldn't show you something there, but just wanted to touch base on your question there. And let's see. Bernard Jean. No, wait a second. That's the one I just answered. Sorry. Told you I don't edit my videos, guys. I just do it right off the cuff, and you get what you get. Joe Slam. Okay. Do I listen to only vinyl at home, or do I also listen to CDs, cassettes, and then maybe show a few high-end CDs? Okay, so do I listen to only vinyl at home? No, I don't listen to only vinyl at home. I can get really moody with just like, or I should say, just like I can get moody with what I want to listen to, I can get moody with what format I want to listen to. So last Saturday, I got into a cassette mode, and pretty much everything I listened to was pulling things off cassettes, CDs. You know, it really is random. It just so yeah, I don't have any set thing that I listen from. Matter of fact, about a week or so ago, I would say about 80% of the music I listened to that entire week wasn't on either one of those formats. I DVR'd a bunch of I Love the 80s, classic channel, whatever, and like each episode was like an hour long. So I had like 16 of them. And almost 80% of the music I listened to all that week was just watching those videos on the DVR. And that's what I was jamming out to and listening to. So, yeah, I embrace all the different formats at different times, and there's no rhyme or reason to it or anything like that. And so the last part of that question was to show some higher end CDs. So what I did was I just picked out a handful of some MOFA CDs. Maybe I'll do another video kind of showing some of the Japanese CDs or that type of thing. But just real quick, not really talking about them, just kind of flipping through them. You have Carly Simon. Of course, everybody knows Carly. Foreigner, Head Games. Carole King. Tapestry, of course. And then I'll do it like this, just to go a little bit faster. A couple more Carly Simons here. Of course, you got You're So Vain and Anticipation. Great tracks like that on these two. Carly Simon Hotcakes. Then we got some Linda Ronstadt. Same thing. I'll just kind of, because I'm sure you guys know these albums inside and out. And then you have some more Linda there. One of my favorite albums by her here. Then a great album. This is one I'm really happy to have with the MoFi here, which is the Miles Davis Bitches Brew. That's a great one. Let's see. Little Chicago, Transit. A little more Chicago there. Mark Cohen. Of course, you guys remember this one. Yeah, he had that big hit, Walking in Memphis. Little Billy Joel. Stranger, of course. Innocent Man. Some 80s Joel. Another one I really like in my collection here, which is the Aretha Gold. The Pretenders. Learning to Crawl. Another really, really great album. And of course, this is the one that has Back on the Chain Gang, which again, arguably is my favorite song by them. And then I also pulled out a little Santana. And then I did pull out one of the kind of the gold CDs too, which is Eric Clapton, Slow Hand. So those are kind of a few of the MoFi CDs that I have. Definitely a collection thing I would like to build a lot more, but those freaking things are so expensive that it's just kind of like, you have to take your time, When you get enough money in the PayPal account to buy one that you really want, then that's when you get it. Because, but yeah, so maybe like I said, somewhere down the line, maybe I'll come back and do another one, kind of show some of the other, different CDs and Japanese pressings and stuff like that I have, or some of the other MoFi CDs that I have. But so yeah, there you go. I'll try to keep us under 20 minutes. As always, guys, thanks for throwing the questions out there. I'll try to get back more frequently to do these videos, and because I still got quite a few questions to respond to. So thanks as always for watching, guys. I truly appreciate you taking the time to listen to anything I have to say about music or otherwise. It's truly, truly appreciated. So Take care, VC, and I will talk to you soon.